Here's a see through it all mix.
It's not something that when we say Christ is king, it's not something that they just can't participate in. It is something that they hate. So every time someone says Christ is king, it fills them with wrath, pride, anger. They hate. Hate. Do you hear this? Because they actually don't mind when people say, I'm Christian, but when a Gentile comes and says, Christ is your king, Christ is king, Jesus is the king of the Jews, he's the king.
So is this any different than Rabbi saying, Moshiach is your king, goy? You're going to be a Noahide and bow down to Moshiach, goy. It's no different. It's the same exact thing. They get the last laugh because you're worshiping a Jew.
King of the world. They say, don't say that, though. They say, don't, that's actually a problem.
I, as a Jew, have not only no problem with people saying, for example, Christ is king. I think that's...
Like, we post this video. Do we get a retraction? Do we get an apology? Are they ever going to admit you're wrong? No, how can I not be happy when I see millions of goyim chanting Christ is king?
A good thing for Christians to say. I want Christians to do that because I think that for American society, more people need to declare who are Christian that Christ is king and go back to church because after all, Jesus was a Jew and not only...
Right. Yeah, got to get those Christ cut donos. Even the influencers that aren't even Christian will blacklist you because they don't want to offend their little triggered beta Christian followers. They don't want to lose any of their donations and their tithes and their support. They don't want the mob of pitchforks of Moshiach sheep coming for them, calling them Antichrist. It's despicable. It's despicable. All these Abrahamic gatekeepers. No questioning, just Jewish fighting on both sides. Two Jewish sects fighting over the Messiah. Can we have real opposition to Judaism? Nope. Best we can do is being mad about rejecting the Jewish Messiah. Christ is king of the Jews.
Was a Jew, was a practicing Jew.
You hear that, gripers? No problem with you saying Christ is king because it means Moshiach is king according to the prophecies. He's king, the Messiah, son of David, the king of Judah. That's why he has no problem with it.
Does Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager promote Christianity for Gentiles? Do they?
Not really, no.
Yes, they do.
Not really.
Yes, they do.
No,
oh, my gosh. Yeah, right.
Really.
That's what I'd love to see is a more Christian America in which more people choose
Just
God.
Total gaslighting, lying.
Like
I saw a clip of Nick the other day where he talked about how he was gaslighting Jeremy Boring as well. They're just liars. Christianity is a lie, and the only way to defend it is to just become a pathological liar. That was on a space where I got to... The one time I've ever talked to De Fuentes, he's been dodging me for years and slandering me, and all of his retarded Anon followers constantly lying about me. What was I going to say?
It's going to require more powerful Christian leadership.
We have to see a more Christian America because Christians are the biggest supporters of Israel.
The greatest friend and ally on this planet to the Jewish people should be the Christian.
That's what I was going to say. It was on a space, and it was like I got to talk for barely at all, and then some Muslim woman that was the space host took my mic away. That's how it went down. And then the Groypers were all like, oh, that queen, that Muslim queen, and she came out to be like a virulent anti-white Muslim woman Khaleesi. She cut my mic. The Muslim woman cut my mic so I couldn't respond. And now she's posting all this anti-white shit on our timeline.
And if you're not, something's wrong with your theology. I love you, but something's wrong with your theology.
So I believe the Torah is from God. I believe the Jews are the chosen people. The largest group of people who believes Jews are the chosen people are Christians. Most Jews don't believe it, but Christians who are serious Christians do believe it.
The Jews' best friends are Christians. That's a fact. Yeah. That's not an opinion. That's just a fact.
And the Christians are just like la 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 la. Nothing they hate more. Christ is king. Nothing they hate more. Rabbi Yeshua is king. Every knee will bow to the Jewish Messiah. Like, so sick of these guys.
I am rooting for Christianity's survival as much as you, the Christian, is or are.
Nothing they hate more. Nothing they hate more. Over and over again. Jake Shields again. Which two men in Judeo-Christian values Which two men in history were hated by Jews the most? Names only. Jesus and Hitler. Her and Suleiman are anti-whites, I know, yeah. Jake should actually investigate what the top rabbis in Judaism say about Jesus. They say it's idolatrous, but that he helped prepare the world for the Messianic age. Why won't you expose that? These guys act like they expose Judaism and Zionism and rabbis, but they'll never share the compilations that See Through It All and the clips See Through It All finds. They're not. They're fakes. They're frauds. They're covering for the rabbis and the Jews. That's what they're doing. Covering for them by not exposing what they're doing and by only exposing controlled op rhetoric and lies. See Through It All says another day in Zion. Yeah, you want to say, oh, Rabbi Shmuley hates Jesus. Have you read his book on Jesus where he says Jesus is kosher? Oh, you know nothing about that, huh? Don't want to hear about it? You just want to stay willfully ignorant? Shields pisses me off, too, because he led me on for months claiming that he's like, oh, he's interested and he thinks I have a point and wants to have me on. And then his assistant is constantly lying about me, calling me Jewish online. All of his audience and followers of faceless anonymous trolls constantly lying about me, and doesn't give me a chance to come on and question everybody worshiping a Jewish superhero. That won't have me come on to defend myself from all the slander. Kept telling me for months and months, oh, I'll have you on next month. Oh, I'll have you on next month. Never gives me a date. And then I go, hey, what's the deal? You're spouting all this nonsense. Your manager and your followers are all lying about me. And he goes, oh, you're a jerk. I'm not having you on. Fuck off. These guys are all fucking. And it's not even just him. He's just one little cog in the wheel. He just started learning about Jews after like October 7th. He's clueless. He doesn't know. He's just regurgitating and learning from all these other controlled op talking points that have been around for decades and have gotten us nowhere. Where have these Christian controlled op talking points gotten us? The most Zionist president ever? The most Zionist government we've ever had? Huge W, guys. Falling for the controlled op trap with this misleading Christ is King slop. Now watch this. Notice how they try to scapegoat atheist for Judaism and then say they scapegoat Khazarians and Europeans for Jews. But the Schofield cope and the secular Israel cope.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like Peter Herzl was
so all of Fuentes, Stu Peters, Jake Shields, Lucas Gage, Fresh and Fit, E. Michael Jones, Jay Dyer, the Ortho Bros, the Groypers, the Catholics. This is the controlled opposition. They oppose Jews, but they worship the King of the Jews and the God of Israel.
The founder of Zionism. Peter Herzl was the founder of Zionism. Was an atheist, and so has Ben.
Zionism is Judaism. Zionism long preceded Ben Gurion and Herzl, who I don't even know that they were atheists. They just weren't practicing Jews. Possibly agnostic. There were Kabbalists, Messianic movements. What do you think Zabbatai Zvi was? That was a Zionist movement of a Messiah trying to return to the land. Zionism began when the temple was destroyed. They've been praying 3 times a day. Next year in Jerusalem, praying to rebuild the temple. And you're going to try to say Zionism is just these atheists 100 to 150 years ago? The founder of Zionism was atheist. No, and I get what I think these guys are doing. I think I get the mindset. They're like, maybe we can convince Christian Zionists that Israel is not a real biblical prophetic people, and then they won't support them. But they've been saying this forever, and it doesn't work. And you're not covering the magnitude of the actual conspiracy. The conspiracy is it's Jews wanting to fulfill their prophecies of returning to the promised land, the ingathering of the exiles, making Aliyah into the promised land, rebuilding their temple. That's the conspiracy. And instead, you're complaining about atheists? Are atheists to blame for Zionism in Israel? Or is it Judaism? Are we going to say it's the Talmud, or are we going to go for the whole shebang and just say it's the Torah? This Talmud and Schofield, those are Jewish scams, but the Torah is not? So you're running cover for the Torah? Running cover for Torah, the actual conspiracy, and the Jews, all in one 30-second clip.
Herzl was the founder of Zionism, was an atheist, and so was Ben Gurion, the first prime minister. So, like, yeah, it's hilarious. Like, you got these atheists telling you this is our land because God said so. Wait, what?
And the evangelical Christians just eat it up. So they were smart. They go, okay, how are we going to get the support? Oh, we're gonna tell them God gave us this land, because they were debating. They didn't care.
No. It's not the Jews that said God gave us this land. It's the Bible that says it. The Torah. Oh yeah, Schofield convinced the Christians that God gave him the land. You mean the Torah? You mean quoting verses from the Torah that say where the promised land is? Yeah, it's just the Schofield Bible that did it. They're literally running cover for what the conspiracy is. My criticism, they're not going far enough. They're trimming at the leaves.
This is our land because God said so. Wait, what?
And the evangelical Christians just eat it up. So they were smart. They go, okay, how are we going to get the support? Oh, we're going to tell them God gave us this land, because they were debating. They didn't care what land originally. They were talking about what land they should take, and that was the land. Like, okay,
no, it was the Nazis that talked about Madagascar, sending them other places. The Jews only ever wanted to go to one spot. Kidding me? They're obsessed with returning to their promised land, and you're going to say, oh, the Jews didn't care where they were going? Maybe one or two said they can go anywhere and have a state. Like, you're not.
I guess we'll take
the
this.
Schofield Bible is a scam too, which a lot of the evangelicals follow.
Yeah. So the Schofield Bible's a scam, but you won't ever call the Torah a scam? How come none of these big critics of Jews will ever say the Torah is a scam? Isn't that like clown world to you guys? Do I feel like I'm taking crazy pills that none of these guys that act like they're exposing Jews will say the Bible, the Torah, is a scam?
Doesn't anyone notice?
Come on, this sucks. I need a real soundboard.
Notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Not one of them. Not one of them. And then not only will they not criticize the Torah ever, but then they'll actually run extra cover for the Torah and say that the Jews don't follow the Torah. The Jews don't believe the Torah. So notice what they're doing. They're atheist washing Zionism. It minimizes the magnitude of the conspiracy. Like, the critique is that it's Jews trying to fulfill their prophetic plan to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. And these Zionist ambitions existed long before Herzl and Ben Gurion. So why are we complaining about Schofield and Herzl when the conspiracy expands so much further than that? Jake, can you just tweet the Bible is a Jewish scam? Can you just tweet Jesus is a Jewish myth? Could you do that? Oh, you can't? Well, then I guess you're never going to expose what's going on. You're running cover for the biggest Jewish conspiracy there is, the Bible. They won't criticize what the whole root of Jewish identity and the Jewish agenda is all rooted in the Torah, the Tanakh, expanded on in the Talmud and Zohar and Kabbalah. But the way they'll never criticize the Torah or question the king of the Jews that walked on water and was born a virgin, they won't ever do that. What are they scared of offending a large portion of their audience? Is that what it is?
Says to prove that
they'll never share any of the real rabbi clips either. That's the real problem.
the Christians and the Muslims came and they say, we are not challenging Judaism. We are the witnesses to prove that God gave the Torah to the Jews.
You see, Christians and Muslims are not opposing Judaism. They're not fighting against Judaism. They're fighting within Judaism. Fighting over their specific flavor of Judaism. That's Jewish. That's by definition Jewish-controlled opposition.
They call it the Old Testament. Same thing the Muslim. They believe in the Torah. Half of the Quran is from the Torah. Ibrahim, Sarah, all the stories from the Torah appears in the Quran. They never tried to say God never gave the Torah to the Jews. The opposite. In the Quran, in many, many places, it describes Mount Sinai. How the Jews...
Yeah, VT American. If you promote a Jewish Messiah, an obviously fake mythological Jewish Messiah, as the solution, you're Jewish. If you're a Christian and you're promoting Christ as king, you're promoting Jewish theological supremacy. Have I made that clear enough? If you're promoting Jewish religions like Christianity, you're Jewish. Your book says salvation is of the Jews. You're spiritually Jewish. You call yourself the new Israel. Christianity is a branch of Judaism. If you don't oppose Christianity, you're not opposing Judaism. All right? You super chatted, VTA? Well, let me look for it. I think I read your one earlier. Okay, VT American says, I do not think you're wrong, even though Google says so, but you're like a truther that finds flat earth, and this is not flat earth. Believing Jesus is real is like flat earth. Thinking the Bible is real is flat earth here. And then spends years covering it, big tech, except for you, it's exposing the Christianity lie. Yeah, I'm exposing the Christianity lie. No lies detected. It's not like flat earth, though. Saying Jesus, there's no evidence at all for the earth being flat, just like there's no evidence at all for Jesus being real. Only terrible, poor evidence. All the evidence suggests it began as a mythological figure like every other god. You super chatted 5 other times? I'm sorry, I have multiple tabs open. Zionist Cuck says, a Jewish rabbi, Yeshua, is the God of the universe, everybody. Case closed, Goyim. I don't see any other super chats.
Jews got the Torah from God, how he took us out of Egypt, how Pharaoh was a wicked king. There's a lot of things that is copied from the Torah. So they adopted the Torah as a divine book because they know you cannot deny it. The Christians.
If you don't deny the Torah, you're not Amalek. Amalek denies the Torah. So you're not, like in their own words, they tell you clearly, if you don't believe their God, if you oppose the Torah, if you don't believe in their covenants, if you don't want to bow down to the Moshiach, you are Amalek. Christians don't apply to any of that. So you're not Amalek. You're not real opposition.